Yo, what is up guys? Staleboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So Rey Vargas retained his WBC featherweight title by earning a draw against Nick Ball. A lot to unpack here. The decision on social media is going down as controversial, and I understand why to a certain degree. This fight was a tale of two halves, in my opinion. I felt Rey Vargas, after 6 rounds, was 5-1 up. Quite frankly, I felt he swept most of the first half of this fight. Third round, I felt Nick Ball won. But essentially, the first half of this fight was how I predicted the entire fight to be. Nick Ball doing his very best to overcome the height and reach advantage of Rey Vargas, but lunging in and doing so, getting caught with jabs coming in, getting caught with a right hand from the outside, and being outboxed essentially. And that's what happened in the first 6 rounds, in my opinion. Vargas was also doing a very good job of working the body in the first 6 rounds. Nick Ball had his moments here and there, some flurries, some up jabs that rocked the head back of Rey Vargas. But Vargas was outpointing Nick Ball in the first 6 rounds of this fight, utilising that height and reach, not doing anything crazy, moving. At times he was spoiling, and as a result, Nick Ball would retaliate with dirty tactics of his own. It was messy, but Rey Vargas won the first half of this fight, clearly landed the more shots, better shots, etc. Second half of this fight, however, Rey Vargas and his output dropped. His movement remained the same. He was still moving a lot. He was still clinching and holding and trying to, reduce Nick Ball's offense, but he wasn't really throwing many punches in the second half of this fight. And it started from round 7 where Nick Ball had a lot of success. He buzzed Rey Vargas in round 7. He threw an overhand right, bang on the chin like a looping overhand right. Really hurt Rey Vargas. His legs did a little dance. Nick Ball tried his best to get on top of him, but ultimately he kind of smothered his own work and Rey Vargas was able to spoil his way through it. However, he was buzzed again in round 7 towards the end of that round by a left hook, I believe. So he was hurt a couple of times in round 7. And after that, Rey Vargas really went into flight mode. He went into excessive movement mode, aka running mode, as far as I'm concerned. I felt he was excessively negative in the second half of this fight. He was actually dropped in round 8, or at least it was called a knockdown. Once again, Nick Ball was doing his best to close the distance. Kind of reminded me of Sean Porter, how Sean Porter would roughhouse his way in, land sort of clubbing, cuffing punches. That's basically what Nick Ball was doing throughout the second half of this fight. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't always clean work, but he was the guy throwing punches. But nevertheless, Nick Ball landed, I think it was an overhand right, I forget now to be honest, or a left hook, one of the two. And it dropped Rey Vargas. However, beforehand he kind of pushed Vargas, and Vargas lost his footing, and then he kind of caught him with a punch and dropped him. The knockdown was caused by Nick Ball fouling Rey Vargas initially. So I felt the knockdown in round 8 was bogus. However, I have no sympathy for Rey Vargas because throughout this fight he was throwing himself on the ground for no reason to relieve himself of the physicality of Nick Ball. So I have no sympathy for Rey Vargas, but if we're being honest, it wasn't a knockdown. After that, though, I felt Nick Ball won most of the rounds, from round 7 to round 12. Caught him with a good overhand right. It drops Rey Vargas. Not badly hurt. Rey Vargas towards the end of this fight was just very tired. Kind of, really, really shattered. So I think that knockdown was really caused by just being tired, exhaustion, bad balance, that sort of thing. But, he was dropped in round 11. Round 12, I felt Vargas did a pretty good job of trying to take some play away from Nick Ball. Round 12 was arguable, in my opinion. And the fight was what it was. It's a weird fight to explain because On the surface, it was an ugly fight, but somehow it was entertaining. It was one of those sort of fights. One of those sort of fights. It was keenly contested, and a lot of people are upset by this decision, saying it was a robbery. Honestly, if we take away the bogus knockdown, because it wasn't a knockdown, if we take away the bogus knockdown, I think a draw is a pretty fair result, to be honest with you. I think a draw is pretty fair. Ray Vargas, he had this fight in the bag at the halfway point. Just had to do that for a couple more rounds. He had won this fight. But he started running. He allowed Nick Ball into the fight. His cardio got worse and worse and worse towards the end of this fight. And Nick Ball capitalised. He got back into the fight, made a fight of it. And I feel a draw is, dare I say, the right result. I don't see a robbery in this fight, quite frankly, as much as I dislike Ray Vargas' style. Honestly, I don't think a draw is a terrible scorecard, to be honest with you. I don't think a draw is terrible. That's just my opinion, though. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. I was watching the Sky Sports feed, and they were making out like it was a massive robbery. I'm kind of intrigued to hear what you guys think in regards to the scorecards. I'm kind of intrigued. And how you felt the fight went. Share your thoughts below. Beanie Guy Delboy. Peace.